Despite the simplicity of this stage, there are many details involved. There are specialized companies that can help you prepare the site for construction. But if you want to do it yourself, you can easily do so by watching this video and leaving a comment. In approximately 2 days, we will start the new foundation of our new project at this site. But before starting the foundation, we have an initial stage called load preparation. This is the preparation of the project for the start of construction. This is an extremely crucial stage where many builders often make mistakes. Fortunately, these mistakes can lead to losses. Now, I will walk through the site in detail and show all the points to consider when preparing the site for construction. The first is the necessary permit. Without a permit, you cannot start preparing for construction. When you obtain the necessary permit and create the specific design, you need to go back to the jurisdiction and ask exactly what the requirements are to start construction on the lot. This is the preparation of the site. It is incorporated into the design project. On the first sheet, where you see the placement of the house, a typical architect places the fence. This is a silt fence, a safety fence, where the dumpster is located, where the porta potty is located, where materials are stored, which trees can be removed, which cannot be removed, or which trees need to be protected from construction. Where exactly the house will be located, its position, and all of this you will see in your project. All the requirements that you need to comply with are posted either on your account's website or the city's website, or you can call them, and they will provide you with these requirements. Make sure to take this into account, because if you start preparing your construction without considering these requirements, they may impose a stop order on you. The topic of land selection is a separate subject, and in our course we detailed which land to choose, how to pay attention to certain elements, to trees, to the slope. Follow the link in the description and join our construction community. I personally answer all calls. Come to the site, we will meet, and I will explain in detail how we build our houses. And now you have received the permit. You can start construction. The very first thing I would recommend doing is to place the permit box. What is a permit box and what is its purpose? It is essentially a white box or an improvised board on which you typically place your permits or usually other necessary documents. It seems that the jurisdiction has clearly granted you permits. They know that you have a permit. Why should we place them on the site? This needs to be done for the neighbors, for the inspectors, and for anyone who wants to know if you have received a permit, have permission, and what the house looks like. That is, all the documents necessary for construction and all permits should be in this white box. Behind me is the toilet. This is the most important element that should be placed on the first day of construction. Even when you set up the box, your person needs somewhere to go to the toilet. The so-called porta e porti. This company supplies portable toilets. You remove them on a schedule. It costs about $150, $160 a month. Every week they will change the toilet, provide paper, air freshener, and hand washing liquid. It is very convenient and very comfortable. And the second most important element at your construction site is the absolutely essential dumpster. This is a container into which all construction waste, specifically debris and other materials, is dumped. Please remember that this should strictly only be construction waste. You absolutely cannot throw household waste into the dumpster. The dumpster company will most certainly fine you if you dump household waste there. This is a container for construction waste. When you sign a contract with the company for the dumpster delivery, discuss how much it costs per month, how many dumpsters they will take away in that month, or what weight you can load into the dumpster. I had numerous cases when we overloaded the dumpster. We had to unload it so that the dumpster company could hook it with their truck and then take it away. It was really a big problem. So, eventually, clarify what the weight limit is. The dumpster cannot be overloaded in terms of volume either. They write here, maximum loading level. So it is very important to adhere to this level. If it is definitely overloaded or extends beyond the dumpster, they will either charge you extra or make you remove it. For the house we are building, which is 5,000 square feet and costs $3 million, you will take away about 10 to 12 dumpsters. And one dumpster costs about $600. So if we multiply, it will come out to about $8,000. You can conserve money and effort. You can arrange for a large truck for some parts of the waste and remove it all in one go. It will cost less than a dumpster. But this is already management. It needs to be managed. It's easier to order a dumpster, place it here, and just change it when it gets full. I also recommend calling them in advance. They do not respond instantly. They cannot remove it within an hour. So, if you see that your dumpster is already filling up, call and be prepared to wait a day or two for its replacement. Construction fence. One of the important details in any construction and lot preparation. This fence will most likely be required by your jurisdiction. Typically here we have two types of fences. The first fence, the so-called silt fence, is a sediment fence. It is a fence that prevents any dirt from entering the area of your project. You see, the silt fence must be buried in the ground, above it. On the other side, a safety fence is installed. This plastic mesh is designed as a barrier, preventing various animals from entering and potentially causing damage to your site, whether it be a construction area or a garden. Children will not be able to climb over this fence. Some large pieces of paper will not fly over to your neighbor. So this is a kind of safety fence. There must be 25 feet from the front line to the end of the silt fence, according to the requirements in our jurisdiction if you are installing it. In our case, we extended it to the neighbor's fence, and we did not install the silt fence any further. Why? Because beyond that is a high point, a point that is higher. So, if water and mud flow, they flow downwards, accordingly from top to bottom. At the top, you may not need to install the silt fence. But we installed a safety fence to prevent large objects from our site from going towards the neighbor or neighbor's things coming towards us, like this ball. This fence acts as a protective barrier, ensuring safety. It helps in minimizing potential hazards. It, of course, flew over the fence, but in principle, 4 feet is enough height to prevent large objects from going to the neighbor and from the neighbor coming to you. By the way, we often reuse the silt fence several times. If it has stood well at the previous site, you take down the silt fence closer to the end of construction, roll it up, and place it in your storage or transport it directly to another site. This saves you about $500 in your expenses. On my left side is a cider, and on my right side is an oak. Oaks in Texas are protected by law. If they are more than 6 to 7 inches in diameter, different counties have different rules. You need to measure the diameter of this oak and clarify which diameter is approximately protected by law and cannot be cut. In case you find that it is underneath the specified requirements, you can, if necessary, cut down this oak to clear the platform. If it is larger in size and meets the requirements and specifications, you need to appropriately protect this tree. Or if you need to cut it down, you need to find out the rule under what conditions you can cut this tree. What do you need to do for that? How should you compensate for it? If we are talking about cider, they are not protected by law. And even in Texas, they are welcomed. They are required to be cut down because they affect human allergies. In this case, there were about 40 cider trees of different sizes in this area. And now behind me, you see the area is clean. We removed all the cider trees to prepare it and create a clean platform for the installation of the envelope. You cleared the trees. What is important to do is to remove all the roots. If you leave even the smallest root, there is a significant risk that this tree will potentially start to grow, and your foundation will begin to crack. Therefore, when removing trees, talk to your contractor to extract all the roots from the ground, remove them, take off the top grade, all the vegetation, all the bushes, and prepare the site. And after that, call a server company which will place the corners of the house for you and call it the envelope. Envelope is the placement of the corners of the house on the construction site, such as the foundation or the landscape. When you typically call a surveying company, you usually send a file in the DVG format of your lot plan with the house placed on it. They will carefully and efficiently place the corners of your house for you, accurately and precisely, as per your request and specifications. If it has a complex shape, you can ask them to place additional flags that will show the shape of the house. This will be a little more expensive, but all risks will be taken off you. Why is it necessary to hire a surveying company? Because it is a highly specialized, licensed company that takes responsibility for accurately and professionally transferring the file you sent onto the actual land. Here you will see a flag. I placed this flag, performed the function of a surveying company. But tomorrow a professional surveying company is coming, and we will see how much I was wrong, how inaccurately this flag is placed, because they use satellite. They will carefully place a metal rod nearby, and next to this rod there will be a wooden stick with orange ribbons, distinctly marking a clear corner of the house. Many of you in the comments have asked what exactly the difference is between setting the corners yourself or hiring a surveying company. This lot is quite flat and relatively level. Even here, you have approximately a 5-foot difference between the back corner and the front corner. And if you bought a lot on a steep slope, it will be a huge problem because, for example, stretching a tape measure along the slope, you will get 50 feet. And if you look horizontally, this point can move to another location. It is impossible to mark without a satellite reference. Therefore, when preparing the lot, pay attention to this. It is extremely important to hire a surveying company that will professionally set the corners of your house via satellite, the so-called envelope, and this will be their responsibility, confirmed by a document. Another element of preparation is connecting all utilities, which include water, electricity, and sewage. If you have sewage, you will most likely connect it when the house is ready. If you have a septic system, you will do it anyway at the end, closer to the completion of the house construction. But you need water and electricity at the very beginning. Therefore, my recommendation is to submit the documents for obtaining permits for electricity and water as early as possible. Because the services work very slowly, it can take 3 to 4 months or even 5 months for them to issue a permit and connect your electricity or water. For this specific plot, we have already received water. In this area, the water supply organization works very quickly. After the application, we received water within 2 weeks. Electricity. Here we have been struggling hard for the past few months to finally get electricity. This particular pole has been lying here unattended for 4 months. I have built 17 houses, and these are 17 different cases for connecting water and electricity. And many of these cases do not depend on us. We start construction here with a generator. There is always a solution. But a generator means additional costs, noise, and insufficient power. How much does the preparation cost? How much to budget? This plot, 5,000 square feet, 40 trees. The preparation of this plot cost about $10,000. If you are interested in getting an estimate for preparing a house for construction, the link is in the description. In order to prevent dirt from getting on the road and your neighbors from complaining about the construction, you need to properly prepare the driveway. Here, it is done this way. You order a bull rocker truck. This is indeed quite large gravel, specifically sized 2 to 3 inches. And this driveway is poured from the city road to a depth of approximately 20 feet. You can certainly do more. What does this bull rock provide when the equipment drives out of the mud on your site? The stones hold back the dirt, and the vehicle, when exiting onto the road, leaves a relatively clean track. Of course, this is not perfect, and it needs to be monitored. And when you budget for this, include a few truckloads because the gravel deteriorates, and in a few months, we will add new gravel here to refresh this driveway. Before you make the actual driveway, you will need to remove this bull rock, because concrete is usually not placed on it. A video about the driveway was made not long ago. Visit our channel and watch this video on how to properly make a driveway.